The Grammys had a massive slip-up last night, accidentally releasing the wrong name on their X page for the recipient of the Best Rap Song Award. They announced that Barbie World from Barbie the Album, performed by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, won, when it was actually Killer Mike for Scientists and Engineers. This was especially awful, as this would have been Nicki Minaj's first Grammy win, something fans have been lobbying for years. Nicki has been nominated 12 times since 2011, but has never taken anything home. It was an unfortunate mistake that was quickly fixed, but not before multiple fans grabbed screenshots of the tweet.
They announced on Twitter, and this is their Twitter, that Barbie World, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice just won Best Rap Song. Then they gonna say the Grammy's official account mistakenly announced Barbie World as the Best Rap Song winner instead of Scientists and Engineers. What the hell?
Miley Cyrus has finally won a Grammy. It's about time. She won for her track Flowers in the Best Pop Solo Performance category. Flowers spent 38 weeks at the top of the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart, making it the longest-running #1 hit in the chart's history. The hook of the song and just the message in general had quite a chokehold over TikTok when it first came out. My point is, the song was popular, everybody was singing it, just not last night during Miley's performance, leading to an awkward moment where Cyrus called out the silent crowd saying, "Why are you acting like you don't know this song?" Which is fair, the song is super fun, and pretty soon after, lots of people were up and dancing. Miley continued to bring the energy after she sang, started to cry, but then remembered, "I just won my first Grammy." No one was silent after that. She also received the Grammy for the Record of the Year, also for Flowers. Bebe Rexha was nominated this year with David Guetta in the Pop Dance Recording category for their collab 1 in a Million. Bebe is known on her own for party anthems like Me, Myself, and I and In the Name of Love, but did you know about her extensive opera training? If you didn't, you probably found out last night in the middle of her red carpet interview with Laverne Cox. The pair started out with the average red carpet talking points, the songs, and the glam, but towards the end of the interview, Laverne brought up a past time the pair had met when Bebe revealed she wanted people to get to know the real her. She also brought up the fact that Bebe is a talented opera singer, asking her to share something about herself singing if she wants. And she did! The two of them were having a lot of fun, but for the viewers at home and on the side of the screen, there was a bit of confusion as to why a high C was suddenly being heard. Plus, singing with no music, unprepared, is always an awkward experience. Although, if this were going to happen on any red carpet, it would be the Grammys. Just a few days ago, UMG Studios announced that it would be pulling all of their artists' music from the popular social media app TikTok, prompting disappointments from fans worldwide. This would include songs from people like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Harry Styles, and Drake. UMG announced that the reasoning for that was TikTok wasn't providing adequate compensation for the use of the music. This year's host, Trevor Noah, he did not shy away from the situation. He called it out, saying, "TikTok, shame on you for ripping off all these artists. That's Spotify's job." Spotify was minding their business, but I guess no one is safe. Spotify did have a similar controversy a few years ago, but there is a new policy being put in place this year that no one is a fan of. The change is that if an artist receives less than 1,000 streams, they won't be compensated at all. For reference, Spotify pays artists about 0.003 to 0.005 of a cent per stream. That's only about $3 for 999 streams. Maybe they did deserve the call out. SZA won her 4th Grammy yesterday for her song Snooze. It was in the Best R&B category, but she was the most nominated artist for the evening with 9 nominations. Longtime friend Lizzo got to announce the R&B win, and it was met with plenty of excitement from the audience, only SZA was nowhere to be found. She took so long to come out on stage that people started looking for her. It only took about 20 seconds for her to come out on stage, but on a stage and screen as big as the Grammys, that feels like an eternity. SZA did explain her absence during her acceptance speech. She was in the middle of a costume change and had to do a, I'm assuming, celebration shot. Casey Musgraves was nominated in 2 categories last night, Best Country Song and Best Country Duo/Group Performance, for the song I Remember Everything, winning the latter. She had the opportunity to present an award this year. Unfortunately, the new winner almost didn't hear their name. Casey was standing so far back from the mic that the audience and at-home viewers had to strain to hear her. She did correct her mistake in time to announce the winner, eventually moving further forwards to actually announce the name. There was a bit of awkward silence as everyone tried to hear exactly what was going on beforehand though. Another awkward red carpet moment came from actor and singer Michael Trotter. He revealed in an interview that he had been pretty worried because he thought his wife, singer Tanya Trotter, was going to divorce him before their Grammy nomination. As an interviewer, I wouldn't know what to do with that. if I received that info, but they handled it well. The pair is still together under the name War and Treaty and were nominated for their collaboration Lover's Game in the Best New Artist category. They received 2 nominations for the evening, but did not go home with either, unfortunately. Not everyone loves audience participation, even some of the biggest artists on the planet. During Fantasia's Tina Turner tribute, eagle-eyed fans spotted Beyonce slightly hiding under her hat, not making eye contact when Fantasia was looking for a dance partner. The performance is a lot of fun and packed full of energy, so I can understand Beyonce maybe wanting to sit back and enjoy watching instead of being a part of the piece. Beyonce was not nominated for any Grammys this year. She did attend though with her daughter Blue Ivy to support her husband Jay-Z, who was receiving the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Beyonce has received 88 nominations and 32 wins over the years, making her the artist with the most Grammy awards, yet never an album of the year, which actually led to another awkward moment. Not necessarily awkward for the audience, and more awkward for the Grammys. During Jay-Z's acceptance speech for the Impact Award, he used part of his time to call out the award show for snubbing his wife in the Best Album category. He said, "I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year. Even by your own metric, that does not work. Think about that. Most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work." And he's right. Beyonce has created some of the best music and pop culture moments of our generation, and she's never won in that category? That's kind of weird. This isn't the first time Jay-Z has stood up to the Grammys. In 1998, he boycotted the Grammys over rapper DMX's lack of nominations. Probably the most awkward moment of all happened after someone left the Grammy stage. Rapper Killer Mike won 3 Grammys last night for Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Rap Album for his 2023 album, Michael. However, what should have been a celebratory evening turned sour when he was seen leaving the event in handcuffs. A social media post from the LAPD said the reason the rapper was taken into custody was because he got into a physical altercation that occurred at the 700 block of Chick Hearn Court. Allegedly, he got physical with a security guard that was not moving fast enough for Killer Mike's liking. No other details have been released yet.
First up, we have, of course, Will Smith. Probably the most infamous Oscars moments of the last decade was when Will Smith went up on stage to slap host Chris Rock after he made a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. In 2022, Will received a 10-year ban from the Academy, which means he definitely will not be attending this year's award show. Celebrities had their own opinions on the whole slapping ordeal. Mila Kunis told C Magazine in 2022 that she was stunned that so many people in the audience at the 2022 Academy Awards stood up when he won his Oscar after he already slapped Chris. Not standing up to me was a no-brainer, but what was shocking to me was how many people did stand up, she said. I thought, wow, what a time we're living in, that rather than do what's right, people focus on doing what looks good. It's insane to me. Jada Pinkett Smith, who has been married to Will for nearly 25 years, finally broke her silence on the altercation in June 2022 on an episode of her Facebook Watch series Red Table Talk. My deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile, the Scream 2 star said at the time. The state of the world today, we need them both, and we all actually need one another more than ever. She also noted that she has Will's back in the aftermath of the scandal, adding, until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that is to keep figuring out this thing called life together. Our next Oscars banned celebrity is the late actor Carmine Karaidi. He is best known for small parts in the last 2 films in the Godfather trilogy, and was handed a lifetime ban in 2004 for illegally circulating VHS copies of that year's Contenders that he had been sent as an Academy voter. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Karaidi opened up about the situation, admitting that he got busted because he made the mistake of lending out his tapes, something he claims, quote, everybody did. A guy from the Academy called and says, Carmine, did somebody steal your screeners? Because they found them on the internet, Karaidi recalled. And they called somebody and said, hey, what did you do? I'm in trouble here. While the case was investigated by the FBI and Karaidi was hit with a copyright infringement lawsuit by Sony and Warner Brothers, he was eventually cleared of all his wrongdoings. The Academy wasn't so forgiving and maintained that he had violated his agreement to safeguard their screeners. Next up, we have Bill Cosby. A month after Bill was convicted of assault in 2018, the Academy issued a permanent ban against him. Shortly after, Bill Cosby, who was once regarded as America's dad for his role in the sitcom The Cosby Show, was convicted in the case with ex-basketball player Andrea Constand in 2018. The Academy announced their decision to ban him in accordance with its newly reviewed standards of conduct. In an official statement, the Academy said, quote, "The board continues to encourage ethical standards that require members to uphold the Academy's values of respect for human dignity." Cosby, who served 3 years in prison before having his conviction overturned, never publicly reacted to the Academy's decision. The 85-year-old comedian is now facing more charges after 5 women filed another lawsuit against him in December 2022. Richard Gere is another famous actor who participated in a controversial Oscars incident, one which led to the Academy's decision to ban him from the entire awards. Back in 1993, Richard used his platform while presenting an award to criticize the Chinese government. His decision to not follow the script did not sit well with the Academy, who banned the famous actor for as many as 2 decades for changing his speech. "Studios are interested in the possibility of making huge profits," he told GQ, "but I'm still making the same films that I was making when I started. Small, interesting, character-driven, and narrative-driven stories. It has not impacted my life at all." Richard returned to the Oscars in 2013 when he joked by telling Huffington Post that apparently, "I've been rehabilitated. It seems if you stay around long enough, they forget that they have banned you." Taylor Swift will likely not be attending this year's Oscars despite being asked to join the Academy last year, alongside fellow singer The Weeknd. Taylor has an Eras Tour performance in Singapore on March 9th, the day before this year's Academy Awards, and that would be a very long flight and quick turnaround to make it in time. Recent Taylor Swift news includes an NFL player alleging she got enemy Kanye West kicked out of the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. During the 2024 Super Bowl, Taylor Swift appeared on TV more than some of the players as the cameras kept cutting to her in her suite, filled with friends and the family of her boyfriend Travis Kelce, who was playing on the field. Plenty of other celebs were in attendance as well, including her rival Kanye West. According to a famous football player, the pop and country singer may have requested that the hip-hop musician be removed from the game entirely. One-time NFL player Brandon Marshall stated in his podcast Paper Route that Taylor may have been the reason that Kanye left the Super Bowl. Marshall tells an odd story on the latest episode of his series, one which even his co-host had not heard, explaining what happened between the two stars according to him, that is. So Kanye West pulls up to the Super Bowl. Kanye West buys a ticket right in front of Taylor Swift's booth, Marshall said on Paper Route. He also said that the rapper may have done so to make sure that anytime they were going to be showing Taylor on camera, Kanye's face was going to be there instead. Marshall went on to explain that Kanye had a mask on, which he called typical Kanye. The former football player then guessed that based on West's appearance, Taylor Swift gets angry. He then added, without seemingly any confirmation that the Grammy winner makes a call or two, everyone's involved, before adding that Kanye then gets kicked out of the stadium after her call. Now back to the Oscars. Jennifer Lawrence has been banned from the Oscars for her 2013 tripping on her dress moment. Just kidding, but it was incredibly embarrassing. When accepting her Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook, she tripped over her dress on the stage stairs on the way up to collect her award. In typical Jennifer Lawrence style, she laughed about it all before falling over on the red carpet the next year. In an interview with W Magazine, she says, "I was at the Oscars waiting to hear if my name was called, and I kept thinking, cakewalk, cakewalk, cakewalk. I thought, why is cakewalk stuck in my head? And then as I started to walk up the stairs and the fabric from my dress tucked under my feet, I realized my stylist had told me cakewalk, cakewalk, cakewalk. You're supposed to kick the dress out while you walk, and I totally forgot because I was thinking about cake, and that is why I fell. Another Oscars moment that raised concern was when the wrong movie was named Best Picture. When Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty announced the winner for Best Picture, they mistakenly said it was La La Land. But it was in fact Moonlight that had won. In a supremely cringe-inducing moment, Beatty was pushed aside as the correct slip of paper was brandished at the cameras desperately. It turns out Beatty had been given the Best Actress envelope instead of the Best Picture envelope, and Emma Stone won for La La Land. Hence the awkward mix-up. When Angelina Jolie won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 2000 for her role in Girl Interrupted, she caught the attention of viewers around the world when she kissed her brother. That's right, her biological brother, on the lips. Angelina's mom, Marshaline's close friend, who helped take care of the actress as a child, has opened up about the whole event, claiming it was nothing more than sisterly love. The day she kissed Jamie at the Oscars, she says it was the first day that their mom was treated for cancer. They left the hospital together and got ready together, she told Radar Online. No one in the world knew that they spent the day in the hospital. It was like, look where we are at now. But the world saw something in it was meant to be, here we are. They only ever had each other. They had a very tight relationship with each other and their mother, she says. Our next awkward Oscars moment includes John Travolta. When announcing Idina Menzel to the stage, Travolta called her Adele Dazeem. John Travolta explained to Jimmy Kimmel what had caused the awkward gaffe, saying that he was shoved on stage 15 minutes early and the assistant told him at the last second that Idina's name had been changed to the phonetic spelling on the card. When John got on stage to announce, he had not been able to rehearse and stared at the card thinking, what is this name? I don't know this name. Luckily, Idina found it hilarious and even introduced John as Glom Gazingo at the Oscars the following year as a joke. Lastly, we have Rob Lowe. In 1989, perhaps the strangest Oscars moment occurred when an actress playing Snow White performed randomly on stage. The entire 11-minute performance shows Disney princess Snow White attending the Oscars and was incredibly weird for people to watch. What was even weirder was when actor Rob Lowe appeared on stage to sing a duet with the princess. Rob opened up to the New York Times about the whole debacle in 1992, saying, "Look, the Academy asked me to take that role, so I was a good soldier and I did it. You can't be your own manager and agent and soothsayer. You have to take risks. And on that one, I got shot in the foot." First off, we have Travis Kelce screaming at his coach. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce didn't mean anything by his shouting at head coach Andy Reid early in Sunday's Super Bowl victory over the San Francisco 49ers. It was all part of the star's competitive spirit, a source tells Page 6. Kelce was clearly irritated and frustrated after the Chiefs lost a fumble in the second quarter of their thrilling comeback over San Francisco. The 34-year-old star and boyfriend to Taylor Swift was seen on video yelling in Reid's face and even bumping the coach as he wanted back into the game following the turnover. Teammate Jerick McKinnon even had to hold Travis back. Viewers were quickly to pounce on Kelce's actions, but a source brushed aside any real animosity between the player and the coach. He's just a passionate player and everybody is on edge. It's the Super Bowl, but there was no malintent. Now let's talk about Nickelodeon covering the Super Bowl. Nickelodeon added its own spin on the sports event by showing celebrities as cartoon sea creatures. The Nickelodeon announcer introduced the celebs including LeBron James and Finn Diesel, Billie Eilish, and Herring Styles. In addition to the strange cartoon celebs, Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob was the main commentator. Of course, why not? And they referred to Travis Kelce as Taylor Swift's boyfriend the entire night. Next up, we have the horrible Oreo commercial starring Kris Jenner. In her first Super Bowl commercial, the momager pays homage to some of the Kardashian-Jenner family's most iconic moments. The commercial is meant to be a flashback to 2007 and pay homage to the moments and cookies that have played a part in the family's fame over the last 17 years. How did we get here? Well, to answer that, I'd have to go back to the beginning, Jenner says while holding up an Oreo cookie. Jenner twists the top cookie from the rest of the Oreo and looks inside as if reading a fortune. With a giggle, she adds, "I better warn the kids." Although the commercial was received well by some, the majority of Reddit was not having it. One user writing, "I can't go anywhere online without seeing a Kardashian. And now Oreo? Come on." Another user writing, "Why are companies still endorsing Kris Jenner? Doesn't she have enough money?" Next, let's talk about the Jenna Ortega Doritos commercial. Haven't we as a culture moved past the older people look like they're doing crazy things cause stunt doubles trend? Well, that's kind of the only premise of the entire commercial. And come on Doritos, you got Jenna Ortega to be in this commercial just to have her wander around a grocery store looking for her grandmother's. The YouTube comments on the ad say it all. "It's like 2008 funny," one user says, another commenting, "What the F am I watching?" And they've officially ruined Doritos. Next up, we have Usher's halftime show. Viewers look forward to the halftime show each year, but this year's performance fell a bit flat. Usher's halftime performance during this year's Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers has come under fire from thousands across the globe. As the players took a well-deserved break in the Allegiant Stadium locker rooms, Usher took to the field to belt out a long list of his best-known hits. While the thousands in attendance were on their feet, it's safe to say the performance fell a bit flat, with several watching at home. Complaints flooded in from the very beginning of the performance, with many moaning that the sound quality was quote awful, and that Alicia Keys was singing off pitch, and that there was no wow moment from any of the performers. Taking issue with the sound quality, one ex-user fumed. "Usher is horrible in live settings," he says, "could barely hear him on top of that. Worst halftime show in a long time. Worst halftime show ever. Didn't even hear Usher sing properly. Really disappointed." A second complained, with a third echoing, "This is historically bad. Congrats." Every year the halftime show is worse and worse. Hashtag Super Bowl, "This didn't break the internet," a fourth commenter hit out, while a fifth user bluntly put it, "The worst Super Bowl halftime show performance ever." Even those who enjoyed Usher's performance couldn't help but criticize the audio problems that plagued it, including one person who weighed in saying, "It was a great show, but the audio was just awful. It got a little better towards the end, but you could barely hear Usher at all." Now let's discuss the horrible outfits that some celebs were wearing. From Usher to Blake Lively and Elon Musk, many were confused and unimpressed over these A-listers' clothing choices. Ahead of the big game, rumors swirled that Justin Bieber was going to make a surprise appearance during Usher's halftime show. However, when those predictions didn't pan out to be true, it left many to wonder, where in the world was JB? Well, the star reminded us that he was indeed there, but clearly had no intentions of going on that stage based on his outfit. The Peaches hitmaker was spotted wearing a loose-fitting brown-colored button-down that was totally open with his chest exposed. He topped it off with a black baseball cap tilted backwards, which added to the vacation mode vibe of it all. There's quiet luxury and then there's carelessness, and that's exactly what Elon Musk's outfit gave. The X and Tesla CEO showed up to the event in a tight-fitting t-shirt that made him look as if he rolled out of bed and just went to the game. Even though this wasn't a red carpet event, we still expected more from one of the wealthiest celebs in the world. Next, let's discuss the atrocity that is the ticket prices for the Super Bowl. It's reported that the average price of a ticket is $10,000 US, and that box suite that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's family sat in, a reported $2 million. Earlier last week, Travis Kelce joked about how much money he was spending for the Super Bowl. "I'm not really doing much different other than just counting how much money I'm spending on this damn Super Bowl for family and friends to come," he told his brother in Thursday's episode of their hit podcast New Heights. "Just making sure I'm on top of those finances and losing all this money," the athlete, who is reportedly worth $30 million, quipped. The Super Bowl ads are also extremely expensive. The average cost for 30 seconds is $7 million US. For reference, in 2015, it was only $4 million. A reliable figure doesn't really exist for how much money the Super Bowl itself makes each year, though most estimates range from a minimum of $300 million to a maximum of $1.3 billion. Our last two worst moments are from other Super Bowl years, but are equally as horrific. Remember the Justin Timberlake halftime show debacle? Well, if you don't know the story, let me catch you up. Justin and Janet Jackson were performing in front of over 100 million fans watching worldwide when at the end of the halftime show, he tore Janet Jackson's costume and bared her chest live on stage. It didn't seem like it was a mistake, and Janet was furious. But she says she later forgave him. Honestly, this whole thing was blown way out of proportion. Jackson opened up about the incident during part 2 of her Janet Jackson documentary. She continues by saying, "And of course, it should not have happened, but everyone's looking for someone to blame, and that has got to stop. Justin and I are very good friends, and we will always be very good friends." Lastly, we have the Maroon 5 Super Bowl halftime show. Beyond big-name performers like Rihanna and Cardi B, who publicly turned down the 2019 halftime slot to show solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, and 100,000 Maroon 5 fans who signed a petition urging them to drop out, the band weathered brutal headlines asking, "Can you name a member of Maroon 5 besides Adam Levine?" and "Will Maroon 5 give us the weakest ever Super Bowl halftime show?" and the Super Bowl's biggest question: why are Maroon 5 popular? The performance certainly did not do much to highlight Maroon 5's non-Adam Levine members, with the frontman's knuckle tattoos alone getting more screen time than the rest of his band. Levine, no stranger to the screen thanks to his voice coaching gig and his many random endorsements, did his very best to remain at the forefront of the performance at all times. The most gratuitous of his many camera mugging moments coming when he launched his shirt into the crowd to reveal his very sweaty, tattoo-covered torso during their groan-worthy set, Moves Like Jagger. Adam Levine has had his fair share of controversies, especially in 2022, when he was publicly outed for cheating on his wife. The former voice coach made headlines in September 2022 when a woman named Summer Stroh claimed she had a year-long affair with Levine. "At the time, I was young, I was naive, I was very easily manipulated," she alleged via a TikTok video. She added in the caption that she was, quote, "embarrassed that I was involved with a man with this utter lack of remorse and respect." The University of Texas alum claimed that after she and Levine ended their affair, he reached out to her to ask if it was okay if he named his future baby boy after her. One day after a TikTok about this whole situation went viral, Levine, who was expecting baby number 3 with his wife at the time, released a statement denying that he ever cheated on his wife. "I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate," he said in September 2022. "My wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again." Amid the drama, more women came forward claiming that they had exchanged flirty messages with Levine during his marriage to Victoria's Secret model. Starting off strong, we have Adam Levine, who allegedly cheated on his pregnant wife of 8 years, Behati Prinsloo, with Instagram model Summer Stroh. Summer claimed in a since-deleted TikTok that she had a, quote, affair with Adam, who currently shares 2 kids with Behati. That lasted about 1 year. She said in the September video, "At the time, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated." And Summer went on to share a series of screenshots that seemingly showed Adam making some quite bizarre remarks about her body. In one of the images, the Maroon 5 frontman appeared to ask if he could use the model's name for his new baby with Behati. Some of the texts Adam sent his secret lover include, "Holy effing F, that body of yours is absurd. How are you such an hourglass?" Needless to say, the entire ordeal took the internet by storm, with Adam's alleged texts in particular becoming something of a meme, and more women wound up making similar allegations about the singer's infidelity. And while Adam later denied cheating on Behati in a statement addressing the scandal, he did admit that he'd, quote, crossed the line. Next up, we have the YouTuber scandal that's shocked the world. Ned Fulmer from popular YouTube channel The Try Guys. Ned, who got married to Ariel Fulmer in 2012, admitted to engaging in consensual workplace relationships after photos on Reddit appeared to show him kissing a colleague, Alex Herring, in a bar. Ned shares 2 children with Ariel and famously built his whole brand around his love and devotion to his family, becoming one of the internet's most prominent good guys. Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship, Ned said in a written statement. I'm sorry for any pain that my actions have caused to the guys and to the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention. The rest of the Try Guys, Keith, Zach, and Eugene, confirmed that Ned was no longer working with them as a result of the scandal. We do not see a path forward together, they shared. We thank you for your support as we navigate this change. Next up, we have Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. Tristan Thompson made headlines twice for cheating on Khloe Kardashian, whom he began dating in 2016 over the course of their relationship. The Cleveland Cavaliers player was spotted cozying up to 2 women in April 2018 while Kardashian was pregnant with their daughter True. Later that month, Us Weekly confirmed that Thompson had been unfaithful to the reality star since November 2017 with at least 5 different women. However, Thompson was present for their daughter's birth, which was documented on season 15 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Us Weekly broke the news in May 2018 that the duo were quote, fully back together despite Thompson's infidelity. The Revenge Body host defended her decision to reunite with the NBA star in November 2018. His mistake was obviously humiliating and heartbreaking, but I do believe I am strong enough to endure anything, she tweeted at the time. I choose to find a life lesson in every situation, even the nasty ones. Tristan has grown from this, but most importantly, he's a beautiful father to our sweet baby True. The athlete and Kardashian split for a second time when he was seen kissing Kylie Jenner's then best friend Jordan Woods at a party in 2019. Next up, we have Kristen Stewart, who cheated on Robert Pattinson with one of her directors, Rupert Sanders. I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everybody this has affected, she said at the time. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry. Sanders, for his part, publicly apologized to his then wife, Liberty Ross, and their 2 children, Skyla and Tennyson. I am utterly distraught about the pain I have caused my family, the English director said in a statement. My beautiful wife and heavenly children are all I have in this world. I love them with all my heart. I'm praying that we can get through this together. Both couples called it quits after the news broke. Next up, we have Shakira and Gerard Piqué. Piqué was having an affair with a 22-year-old girl while in a relationship with Shakira. Shakira and Piqué, a professional soccer player, were together from 2011 to 2022 and have 2 kids, though they never officially married. In her first interview about the breakup in September, Shakira told Elle, "Sometimes I just feel like this is all a bad dream and that I'm gonna wake up at some point. But no, it's real." She continued, "And what's also real is the disappointment to see something as sacred and as special as I thought was the relationship I had with my kid's father, and see that turned into something vulgarized and cheapened by the media." But by January 2023, the gloves were off. Shakira broke records when she dropped Music Session 53, which is apparently about Piqué. His new 23-year-old girlfriend, and how Shakira is worth, quote, 2 22-year-olds. Insider's Alan Dawson previously reported. Our next cheating couple is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. While the world is currently wrapped up in Bennifer, the other one with Jennifer Lopez, lest we forget that Ben Affleck was once in a soap operatic turn of events caught cheating on Jennifer Garner, the mother of his children and wife of 10 years. He cheated on Jennifer Garner with, guess this, the nanny. The couple divorced in 2018, and after marrying him last year, Jennifer Lopez went on saying that, honestly, I would simply walk out if she discovered he'd been unfaithful instead of, quote, flying into a rage. Next up, we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The pair were a picture-perfect Hollywood couple. The couple had been engaged for 8 months when Jude Law's kid's nanny, Daisy Wright, claimed that the two had been involved in an affair while he was filming a movie in New Orleans. Law then published an apology to Miller in the British Press Association, saying, "There is no defense for my actions, which I sincerely regret, and I ask that you respect our privacy at this very difficult time." Miller and Law were on and off for the next few years, breaking up for good in 2011. "That was one of the most challenging moments I hope I'll never have to experience again," she told the Daily Beast in 2022. The next celeb may come as a bit of a shock. We have David Letterman. David Letterman had only been married to his wife for 6 months, although they had been together for over 20 years, when he admitted to having multiple affairs with women who worked for him on air, including his longtime assistant Stephanie Burkett. The affair came to light when Stephanie's boyfriend Robert Halderman, a producer at CBS, allegedly tried to extort Letterman for $2 million in exchange for his silence. But David did not take up the offer and instead said this on live television: "This morning I did something I've never done in my life. I had to go downtown and testify before a grand jury." Letterman revealed to the studio audience that he received a package 3 weeks ago containing a threat to reveal those indiscretions. If Letterman did not pay the individual a large sum of money, specified as $2 million, he said that the package contained a letter that said, "I know that you do some terrible, terrible things, and I can prove that you do those terrible things." And sure enough, what was contained in the package was proof that I do terrible, terrible things, he said. Our next celeb couple is Kevin Hart and Eniko Parrish. Kevin Hart's infidelity story is honestly a little similar to Letterman's, as he was also being extorted. After denying any wrongdoing, he took to Instagram in 2017 to apologize to his wife Eniko Parrish and his kids. It was then later revealed that somebody was in possession of an explicit video of Hart and was attempting to receive money from him. Hart and Parrish stayed together, and he spoke about it on a podcast in 2020. Our final celebrity couple involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver announced their separation in 2011 after 25 years of marriage, it was a shock to everybody. The bigger shock, however, came later when the world found out that Schwarzenegger was the father of a son born in 1997, mothered by the couple's housekeeper at the time. It's always the housekeeper. "Remember, it's not like we had a feud," he explained to People magazine in an interview. "We didn't have a fight." He added, "It's just my F up. My chapter with Maria will continue on forever," he told People. "Even though it's a different relationship and we are now separated, there's no reason for me to feel anything other than love for Maria." Our first celebrity who will not be attending this year's mega sports event is singer Pink. And the reasoning is, she was offered the halftime show slot and turned it down. NFL executives were reportedly furious after Pink's 2018 Super Bowl national anthem performance. The NFL reportedly offered her the halftime gig for the following year, but she declined. Pink opened up about her decision to turn down the halftime show to Billboard in 2019, citing the potential for backlash amid her personal politics. "Everybody that does it gets so persecuted," she told the outlet. The singer was also adamant about protesting the NFL's treatment of Colin Kaepernick, stating, "I'd probably take a knee and get carried out. They should only give it, because of the current controversy, to African American or Latino women for a while," Pink added. Our next celebrity is Cardi B. Cardi was also offered the halftime slot and declined, and again, the NFL higher-ups were not impressed. In 2019, Cardi B told the Associated Press that she declined the offer with, quote, "mixed feelings." Cardi B told the outlet that she felt like she owed it to Colin Kaepernick to say no. Quote, "I got to sacrifice a lot of money to perform, but there's a man who sacrificed his job for us, so we gotta stand behind him," Cardi added. In the interview, the rapper also talked about her husband Offset and his complicated relationship with football due to to his politics. He really wants to go to the Super Bowl, but he can't go to the Super Bowl because he's got to stand for something, she continued. Now, if you're confused about why these celebs are turning down the halftime show for Colin Kaepernick, here is the scoop. In 2016, football player Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem before a game to protest unrelenting police violence against black communities and was blacklisted because of it. Next on our list, we have Will Smith. The reasoning behind his probable banning is because of the infamous Oscars moment when Will went on stage and slapped Oscars host Chris Rock after he made a comment about Will's ex-wife Jada Pinkett Smith. In 2022, Will Smith received a 10-year ban from the Academy Awards for slapping Chris on stage, meaning he cannot attend the Oscars until 2033. Yikes. Due to his aggressive behavior at publicized events, it's likely the actor will not be allowed to attend the star-studded sports event. In his resignation, Smith said he would, quote, accept any further consequences that the board deems appropriate. I betrayed the trust of the Academy, he added in his statement. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. In its letter announcing the ban, the board expressed, quote, deep gratitude to Chris Rock for maintaining his composure under extraordinary circumstances, and also thanked our hosts, nominees, presenters, and winners for their poise and grace during the telecast. This action we are taking today in response to Will Smith's behavior is a step toward a larger goal of protecting the safety of our performers and guests and restoring trust in the Academy, the letter concluded. We also hope this can begin a time of healing and restoration for all involved and impacted. Our next celebrity may come as a bit of a shock. Miss Taylor Swift. As girlfriend of Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce, who will be playing at this year's Super Bowl, you'd think Taylor would obviously be allowed at the event, but not necessarily. The NFL has strict rules when it comes to what celebrities are allowed in their crowd, and the NFL may see Taylor as a distraction to the big game. One football fan reportedly yelled at Taylor while she was watching a Chiefs game, screaming, "You're ruining football." And one time, she was loudly booed when she was shown on screen during a Kansas City Chiefs game. Another reason why she might not be invited to the Super Bowl is because she's also one of those celebs on the list who turned down the halftime show. The reason she turned it down is likely because her schedule is already booked so full and in advance that there is no time for her to prepare for this type of event. It's expected also for free. The only possible thing that Taylor could get out of it would be, quote, exposure, which we all know she isn't lacking. Justin Timberlake is another celebrity who is most likely banned from ever attending another Super Bowl event after his 2004 viral Super Bowl halftime performance. If you don't know the story, let me catch you up. Justin and Janet Jackson were performing in front of over 150 million fans watching worldwide when at the end of the show, he tore Janet's costume and bared her chest live on stage. It didn't seem like it was a mistake, and Janet was furious, but says she later forgave Justin. Honestly, this whole thing was blown way out of proportion. She opened up about the incident during part 2 of her Janet Jackson documentary for Lifetime. She continues by saying, and of course, it should not have happened, but everybody is looking for someone to blame, and that has got to stop. Justin and I are really good friends, and we will always be really good friends. Next up, we have a pretty obvious NFL ban, Lance Armstrong. NFL prohibits any doping or cheating in all games, so Lance will not be allowed to get anywhere near the Super Bowl. Lance Armstrong, a former American road racing cyclist, helped elevate cycling to global popularity. His 7 consecutive Tour de France victories from 1999 to 2005, and also his status as a cancer survivor, made him one of the most iconic athletes ever. In 2012, cyclist Lance Armstrong was formally stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles after being charged with using performance-enhancing drugs, as well as demanding his teammates also use them to help him win races. Next up, we have another athlete, Oscar Pistorius, another sports star who will not be allowed to attend this year's Super Bowl. In 2012, Oscar from South Africa became the first double amputee to run in the Olympics. Just 6 months later, he ended his girlfriend's life in their house. The news of this gripped South Africa and the entire world. Pistorius, now 37, later claimed that he had mistaken her for a burglar during the night. Pistorius was eventually convicted in 2019 and he has been serving a 13-year prison sentence, but just recently in January he was released on parole. Next up, we have Tom Brady. Tom Brady is considered to be one of the greatest to have played the game of American football. The quarterback spent the majority of his career with the New England Patriots. However, the great has his fair share of controversies as well. In 2015, Brady was found to be using balls that were intentionally deflated in their game against Indianapolis Colts. This deflated ball was illegal as it meant that Brady had a better grip on the ball. After being found out, Brady was imposed with a fine of $1 million and was also given a 4-match ban. He is technically allowed to attend the game, but it's likely football fans would be furious if they see him there. Our next celebrity who will not be allowed to attend this year's Super Bowl is Tonya Harding. Remember the movie I Am Tonya starring Margot Robbie? Yes, that is her. Tonya Harding is a former American figure skater. In 1994, ahead of the US Figure Skating Championships, Harding conspired to have fellow American figure skater and also her rival, Nancy Kerrigan, attacked. The attack was orchestrated by Harding's former husband and her bodyguard. The plan was to injure Nancy before the tournament so that she couldn't participate in the upcoming tournament and also in the Winter Olympics. And they did just that. Before Kerrigan was about to go on the ice, she got hit hard in the kneecap by a metal bar. Afterwards, crying, "Why me?" a scream heard around the world. However, Harding's plan technically failed as Nancy just ended up with a bruise instead of a broken leg. Nancy Kerrigan then went on to win silver in the Winter Olympics. Tonya admitted to her wrongdoings and was penalized with a fine and 5,000 hours of community service. Another athlete with a scandalous past. Our final celebrity who will not be allowed to attend this year's Super Bowl is Adele, another singer who declined an offer to perform the halftime show. After rumors swirled that Adele would perform at the 2017 Super Bowl, she told a crowd at a 2016 concert in Los Angeles that she actually rejected the offer. First of all, I'm not doing the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, that show is not about music. I can't dance or anything like that. They were really kind, they did ask me, but I said no, Adele told the audience, according to Billboard. The day after the 2016 concert, the NFL and Pepsi released a statement asserting that they never, quote, extended an offer to Adele or anyone else. Yikes. But Adele is doing absolutely fine. That same year, Adele won Grammys for Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Pop Solo Performance. Her hit song Hello has 3 billion views on YouTube, 1 million comments, and 18 million likes. So yeah, she didn't need the Super Bowl.
Starting off with MatPat. Now, MatPat didn't exactly destroy his career, he only quit. But his loyal fan base is pretty devastated by this news. In a recent heartfelt YouTube video called Goodbye Internet, MatPat announces his retirement from the platform. Citing personal reasons, he expresses the desire to dedicate more time to his family, particularly his son Ali. Throughout the video, MatPat shares that this decision wasn't sudden, but something he and his wife Steph, who co-managed the channel with him, had been considering for a while. The couple prioritizes family over the demanding schedule of constant uploads, making a tough decision to step back from their established YouTube presence. Drop a comment below if this news hit you hard too. Game Theory was an extremely popular YouTube channel, and watching something this legendary come to an end is sad to see. As expected, the announcement sparked a wave of emotional responses from fans and fellow content creators. Many expressed their gratitude for MatPat's contributions to the platform and shared their best wishes for his future endeavors. Others shared personal stories of how MatPat's videos have impacted them in positive ways, whether it was through educational content or simply providing entertainment and laughs. This retirement marks the end of an era for the YouTube community, as MatPat and his channels have been a staple in the platform for over a decade. From humble beginnings as a gaming channel to creating multiple successful shows such as Game Theory and Film Theory, MatPat has truly left his mark on the platform. Meet Canyon. Meet Canyon struggles facing cancellation and isolation. The drama involving Meet Canyon and a friend almost cost them their job. Miss Breezy has been vocal about her mixed feelings, while a former editor has owned up to their shortcomings amidst issues with deadlines and ongoing excuses. Meet Canyon has had to navigate a series of personal and professional hurdles, including an unfortunate incident at a concert, a loss within their family, and a missed deadline which caused communication breakdowns and feelings of isolation. Now let's delve into the isolating experience of being an editor, how sudden fame can alter YouTubers' personas, and the potential adverse ramifications of such a personality shift in the industry. Meet Canyon struggles with unreliable contractors, technical setbacks, and tense working relationships highlight the importance of regular backups and maintaining professional integrity in this industry. Popular YouTuber Tom Scott recently made headlines by announcing a significant pullback from his regular YouTube activities, leaving fans speculating about his YouTube future. Tom has clarified that he's not entirely leaving the platform, but is downsizing his content production. While he likens this shift to a form of retirement, he also assures fans that this doesn't mark the end of his creative career. Having launched his first YouTube video nearly a decade ago, Scott has garnered widespread praise for the quality, accuracy, and accessibility of his content. His range of topics, from niche subjects like the absence of Dasani water in the UK to pressing issues like AI dangers and YouTube's copyright controversies, have kept audiences engaged and informed in equal measure. Although he'll be uploading new videos less frequently going forward, fans can still look forward to his podcasts and occasional YouTube posts. Fellow YouTubers such as Jay Foreman, John Green, and Rare Earth have publicly acknowledged Scott's contributions to the platform, lauding his commitment to integrity and quality. Despite this change of pace, Tom Scott's impact on the YouTube community remains undiminished. The Ace family, a well-known American YouTube clan, is undergoing a significant change. Austin and Catherine McBroom, the couple behind the channel, have publicly announced their decision to end their marital journey. They've chosen to share this emotional news with their 18 million plus subscribers who've become like an extended family over the 7 years they've been married and creating content. The couple, who have shared their lives and the upbringing of their 3 children, have posted 712 vlogs in total, showcasing their family experiences, but now they've mutually decided to move on as individuals. In Catherine's heartfelt Instagram post, she speaks of 2024 as a year of transformative change, one where she will be facing new challenges. The couple have agreed amicably to a divorce, citing irreconcilable challenges. She expresses both the heartbreak and a sense of liberation in her words, mentioning her dedicated focus on her children and family over the years, which seems to have led her to lose sight of her personal happiness. In a shocking turn of events, swirling rumors suggest another reason for the Ace family's separation. It seems that Austin McBroom, one half of the popular YouTube duo, is facing allegations of cheating. While these are merely rumors at this stage, they have fueled considerable speculation among their fan base and beyond. What happened to Jenna Marbles? Jenna Nicole Mori, widely recognized as Jenna Marbles, with a fan base of over 20 million subscribers, was among the first few to reach star status on YouTube. She won hearts with her hilarious sketches and delightful videos featuring her dogs, establishing her as a respected comedian. However, in 2020, Jenna decided to take a break from social media and content creation. It's been over 3 years since then, and Jenna hasn't made a comeback yet. So what happened to Jenna Marbles, and what made her quit the internet? Let's unravel this mystery. It's been more than 3 years since Jenna's last YouTube video. What transpired? On June 25th, 2020, Jenna released what turned out to be her final video on her channel, announcing her exit from YouTube. This decision followed the resurfacing of some of her older videos featuring her in blackface amid the 2020 Black Lives Matter movement. One such controversial video from 2011 showed Jenna imitating Nicki Minaj. Jenna also faced criticism for other incidents, including a 2011 music video with racial slurs against Asians, where she lent her voice. Moreover, she was criticized for making derogatory comments, belittling other women, and displaying questionable behavior in other videos. Renowned for his pranks, Logan has, on multiple occasions, crossed the line with his antics, with this instance being one of the worst. His famous Japan video, one of the largest scandals in YouTube's history, and not without good cause. While on holiday in Japan, Logan and his friends decided to visit Aokigahara Forest, often referred to as the Suicide Forest due to history of frequent self-offings. Here they stumbled upon a body, and not only did they film it, but they also laughed as they did so. The video was later uploaded on YouTube. Although Logan has offered an apology since, critics argued that it seemed disingenuous, and that incident has certainly solidified his notoriety. Despite his immense popularity, Logan's antics have often crossed the line of morality and decency. One such instance was where he staged his own passing, taking advantage of his young followers for views and attention. The traumatic experience for these impressionable fans is just one of many questionable decisions made by Logan in pursuit of fame. In January 2020, popular YouTuber Jason Ethier, widely known as I'm J Station, confessed of faking the passing of fellow YouTuber Alexia Morano. The aim of this controversial act was to boost his subscriber count on YouTube. Jason in the video detailed his plan. We designed this idea of faking Alexia's passing, followed by a prank video on YouTube, all in an attempt to draw attention to our Dream Team channel. The plan entailed announcing her passing, then making a Ouija board video, which he did, and finally calling her at 3 a.m. to resurrect her, all in a bid to attract more followers to their channel. However, things did not go as expected. After Jason published and later deleted a video about her passing and another one visiting her memorial, Alexia's parents got involved, insisting on the videos being taken down. The situation escalated when Jason woke up one day to find Alexia gone, having taken all her belongings and cutting off all contact with him, effectively ending their relationship. Now, the year 2020 saw the YouTube beauty community's tensions skyrocket, with Jeffree Star at the epicenter. Jeffree, no stranger to controversy, found his feud with Laura Lee, Gabriel Zamora, and Manny MUA to be perhaps his most significant and convoluted yet. The drama intensified after Shane Dawson's docuseries featuring Jeffree was released, leading Gabriel to revisit Jeffree's decade-old racist remarks. In retaliation, Jeffree's followers uncovered contentious tweets from Gabriel, Manny, Nikita, and Laura, prompting Gabriel, Manny, and Laura to share videos expressing their remorse. In a surprising turn of events, Jeffree found himself in hot water for sporting cornrows in a campaign for Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This move was met with criticism, including a rebuke from Jackie on Twitter concerning his campaign and past racial slurs. Only a few weeks later, Thomas Halbert, another YouTuber, released a video addressing racism in the beauty community, indirectly referencing Jeffree. In a shocking YouTube scandal, Kangwa Ren, popularly known as Reset, was slapped with a 15-month prison term and a hefty $22,300 fine. The YouTuber had filmed himself pranking a homeless man by giving him an Oreo cookie filled with toothpaste instead of the usual cream filling. Barcelona declared him guilty of infringing upon the moral integrity of his unsuspecting victim in 2017, as reported by HuffPost. However, it's unlikely that Reset will actually serve prison time because under Spanish law, the first-time nonviolent offenders with sentences less than 2 years typically have their sentences suspended. Reset had profited from the controversial Oreo video, now taken down from YouTube, earning more than 2,000 euros. In the video, Reset callously remarked about the homeless man, "This will help clean his teeth. I don't think he has cleaned them since he became poor." Despite it being a non-violent crime, Judge Rosa Aragonés justified the severe sentence by stating that this was not a one-off incident and that Reset had a history of cruel behaviors towards vulnerable victims. And notable YouTubers such as Shane Dawson, Philip DeFranco, and H3H3 Productions have endorsed BetterHelp, a platform promoting itself as an accessible and professional online counseling service. These YouTube celebrities presented BetterHelp as a convenient way to access mental health support from your own home digitally. However, some have started to question its credibility. Other YouTubers, Keemstar and PewDiePie, raised doubts about the validity of BetterHelp services. Despite advertising a weekly rate of $65, the platform's terms of service reveal that they bill on a monthly basis. PewDiePie also pointed out that the company's websites once stated that they do not verify the skills, degrees, qualifications, licensure, certification, credentials, competence, or background of any counselor, a statement that has since been removed. In response to the ensuing criticism, BetterHelp CEO dismissed the claims against the company as ridiculous, attributing them to amplified YouTube drama. Philip and Boogie2988 have momentarily severed their promotional ties with BetterHelp, but Shane's association with the company remains unclear.
Starting off strong, we have Chelsea Handler calling Robert De Niro and Harrison Ford old. This interaction takes the cake for the weirdest, most awkward, most uncomfortable, and embarrassing moment of the entire award show, which is why I had to talk about it first. Chelsea first exposed herself when she said she had a preference for dating older men and really likes particularly old men. Her words exactly were, "I like old men who were around before the railroad was made." While it was intended to be a joke, it got an uncomfortable laugh from the audience. She followed that up by saying she's been attracted to both Harrison and Robert since she was young, and that they're both smoke shows, and she couldn't tell which one was more attractive that night. She finished off her spiel by saying they just kept getting more attractive attractive as they kept getting older, and that she was going to stop before she embarrassed herself further. While this did have the audience laughing, Harrison was not impressed, like at all. He was spotted cringing slightly during her comments, but overall just had that unimpressed old man face. It was giving everyone secondhand embarrassment. Following that, we have Ryan Gosling's face. He is no stranger to becoming internet memes. From Drive to The Notebook to Barbie, he sure knows how to please the internet with his iconic lines and faces. Well, that's exactly what happened at the Choice Awards. When Barbie was announced as the winner of Best Original Screenplay, his face was priceless because he wasn't expecting the movie to be announced as a winner, considering how much attention it got at the Golden Globes. So he was giving the camera an intense side-eye like he didn't really believe they won. We're sure he was happy to have won the award, but how unsure he was of the whole thing was hilarious. His deadpan expression took the world by storm as a reaction image, and Ryan has once again been made the meme of the month. Then we have Bella Ramsay roasting Ariana DeBose. Ariana is a trained singer and dancer as well as a trained actress. So when Bella made a dig at her while making her acceptance speech, it caused a bit of tension. Bella joked about actors who think they're singers, which was when the camera zoomed in on Ariana's very unpleased face. After the ceremony, she took to her Instagram to express how she felt about the comment, saying she did not find it funny. Well, her followers came to defend her, obviously, saying that she's a Broadway triple threat and she's trained in every category, and they don't blame Bella, but they blame the writers. But Bella never actually directed the comment at anyone. She could have been addressing Ryan Gosling, who had an entire musical number in the Barbie movie, but isn't actually a singer. But Ariana chose to take it personally because the camera zoomed in on her. It's embarrassing that she took it so deeply to heart when it may not have even been directed at her. Next on the list, we have Chelsea Handler dating Joe Coy and joking about it. For those of you who don't know, Joe Coy hosted the Golden Globes and absolutely bombed it. He made jokes that fell flat and some that just weren't funny at all. He called people out for things that were a little unnecessary and then blamed his terrible hosting skills on poor writing. And Chelsea did not hold back when calling all of that out at the Critics' Choice Award. She made a joke about Martin Scorsese, who was another silver-haired Hollywood character, but she thanked the audience for laughing at the joke, and said that her writers wrote it, and actually did a good job, which was an obvious Joe at Diggs' comments about the poor writing. She also described his blaming the writers as a rookie move, but her jokes do come from a deeper place, considering she dated Joe from 2021 to 2022, so there's a deeper emotion behind her much better jokes. Following that, we have how John Oliver won the Best Talk Show. The fact that they have a category for Critics' Choice of talk shows is embarrassing itself, because who's really willing to put in the time to critique a talk show, let alone pick the best one? Well, John Oliver's Last Week Tonight beat out all the other big name talk shows, like Graham Norton, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, as well as Late Night with Seth Meyers. Kelly Clarkson's show was also in there too, but no one was betting on her to win. Good for him for stealing the win, but the embarrassment comes to the people who had to sit down and discuss which talk show was better. Then we have how half the shows weren't recognized. Don't get me wrong, it could totally just be me and my lack of TV knowledge, but half the movies and TV shows that won awards I've never actually heard of. Like, there were no ads or anything, or posters, or anything like that for them. A lot of them were made right for streaming, but even then, people usually get ads for it. We often know the critics have a vastly different opinion from the public, seeing as they like to go for the underdogs. But when the general public hasn't heard of half the nominations, maybe they should take a hint that their opinion doesn't mean that much in the public eye, even if it can determine the success of a movie on IMDb. Not to mention, a lot of the movies had up-and-coming actors, so a lot of the names weren't recognized, which has been proven to deter most people from watching new movies, simply because people like to be able to recognize big names and faces in movies. Next on the list, we have the movies made for television category. Can we talk about how embarrassing that is for people who think they're gonna be in a huge blockbuster hit, but to find out it's just made for television like a Hallmark movie? Now, I'm not discrediting those actors, because acting is a talent that not everyone can possess. But the fact that they made a whole category for movies that were never meant to hit the big screens is kind of sad, as much as it is considerate of the film critics to include them. But if we take a step back and look at it from a different point of view, they had to add a whole new category because of the world being in lockdown, and so many people being forced to adapt to that. At-home streaming is really killing the movie industry because half the movies that are released are also released straight to streaming services, on specific services as well. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. Following that, we have the limited TV show category. There are two categories that are limited: limited TV shows and limited movies. Now, to define limited is hard. Was it limited time and was an excuse for being unfinished? Was it a limited budget and they were just doing their best with the amount of money they had available? Was it a limited cast? They only have so many people working on set at a time? One way or another, it must feel embarrassing to create something with your whole heart and soul just for it to be categorized as a limited TV show. The title of the category almost feels demeaning to those who worked on it. Tom Holland was nominated for Best Actor in a limited TV series. He was literally the face of a new generation Spider-Man and was put in a limited category. Same with Kiefer Sutherland. He went from being a dramatic movie heartthrob to being an actor in a limited movie. Take that as you will, but we only set limits for ourselves. Second to last, we have how Scott Pilgrim Takes Off won. It just seems like such a silly thing to say, only because it is now getting recognition after being rebooted. Now, that isn't saying much. A lot of things become more popular once they've been rebooted. But the original Scott Pilgrim vs. the World movie came out in the early 2000s and was definitely viewed as more of an indie film and wasn't all that popular, despite its star-studded cast, like Michael Cera, Anna Kendrick, and Chris Evans. So to think it won the award for Best Animated Show was hard to believe. Not to mention it was contesting against Bluey, which took the world by storm, becoming one of the most popular kids show across the globe, but it was also competing against Bob's Burgers, the Harley Quinn animated series, and the new Star Trek animated series. So it had some really good competition and ultimately shocked everyone when it came out on top. I guess the critics aren't as fond as the Aussie accent dogs as the rest of the world is. And last but not least, we have Paul Giamatti's passive-aggressive comments. He beat out Cillian Murphy for the Best Actor for his role in The Holdover. And while he was making his acceptance speech on stage, he made some slightly passive-aggressive comments about his publicity. Just a week before the award ceremony, he was caught eating a fast food cheeseburger in his full suit after coming from the Golden Globes, which he won at as well. So the photo was pretty interesting, to say the least. Cheeseburger in one hand with a Golden Globe in the other. What a life to live. But the comments he made were along the lines of, "Thank you for the publicity. I really needed it right there in that moment while I was vulnerable." They continued to make jokes about the situation and overall just brushed it off. But the fact that he got blown up on the internet for eating a cheeseburger is a little embarrassing.